Married to Lucas for 5 years, he had never been intimate with me. One late night, I gathered the courage to embrace him from behind, only to be met with his scornful remark questioning my desperation. This was because, at our wedding 5 years earlier, I had slapped his first love. Lucas had vowed then to punish me for 5 years, no more, no less. I held back my tears and didn't create a scene, though he presumed I was reliant on him. When the 5 years concluded, he phoned me, instructing me to prepare for his return as he was now ready to have a child with me. However, the call was taken by Oliver, who asked, "Who are you?" before stating that his dad had said one child was enough for his mom. Lucas's plan to punish me for 5 years was no secret among our acquaintances, stemming from the incident when I slapped his first love during our wedding in front of everyone. Lucas's demeanor turned icy as he commanded me to kneel. I stood there, stunned and defiant, unable to kneel. He coldly issued an ultimatum: kneel, or see your family ruined. After his declaration, he seemed to erase my existence, mingling and toasting with the guests. I trailed behind him, pleading, it was our wedding night, and I was the bride. How could he degrade me so? Lucas dismissed me, asserting his word as final and challenging me to defy him if my family could withstand his fury. His ruthlessness was unlike anything I had seen. Tempted to leave, fear kept me in place. Thus, I became the only bride, clad in my wedding dress, forced to kneel before all the attendees while Lucas nonchalantly socialized. No one, not even my parents or friends, who all feared Lucas's influence, dared to intervene. I remained kneeling, unable to stand without his permission, as the guests averted their eyes in discomfort. Meanwhile, his first love watched with a barely concealed smirk. I'm not sure how I managed to withstand it. I simply bowed my head, fighting back tears as I silently endured. I waited until the ceremony concluded and the guests had departed before Lucas's assistant came to me with a message: President Lucas says you can now stand and go to the wedding room. Only then did I stand slowly, feeling like the most miserable, drenched dog in the world, and return to the room adorned with festive symbols where I buried my face in sorrow. An hour later, Lucas entered, freshly clean from the bathroom, and lay down next to me, wrapping his arms around me. His touch, as he wiped away my tears, was tender, yet his words cut deeply in no consummation tonight. Your punishment will last for 5 years and not a day less. After these 5 years, you may bear my child. People had warned Lucas, cautioning him not to push too far, reminding him that I was his wife and to be careful not to break me. Unperturbed, Lucas responded, she won't and can't leave. In my world, you either stay or you leave as a widow. Confident in his power, I never dared to defy him or leave, especially as he believed I was deeply in love with him. Though he was never intimate, he embraced me each night as we slept, never straying. He promised that after the 5 years, he would indulge me. Yet my spirit had perished the moment I was forced to kneel, trapped in a marriage without the possibility of divorce. I yearned to betray him. To add insult to injury, my mother-in-law taunted me, calling me a useless hen for not producing offspring. So I did bear a child. It belonged to the Lucas lineage but wasn't fathered by Lucas. The elder of the Lucas family, severely ill and fearing he wouldn't meet his great-grandchild, often called me to his side, urging me to hasten and provide a great-grandson. I confidently inquired, this is about your great-grandson, correct? To which the elder affirmed, precisely. The day you have a child, I will allocate 5% of Lucas Group shares to you. One day, I brought my 3.5-year-old son, Oliver, to the elder's bedside and straightforwardly introduced him, and this is your great-grandson. Although not by Lucas, the revelation nearly sent the elder into a fit of rage. Oliver, sensing distress, leaned in close and blew gently on the elder's face, saying, Great-grandpa, are you okay? Mammy says blowing helps make the pain go away. Despite his initial fury, the elder, a man seasoned by many challenges, regained his composure within minutes and embraced Oliver as his family. To him, the child's exact lineage was secondary to the fact that he was a Lucas descendant. Nevertheless, he harbored concerns that Lucas might pose a threat to Oliver, prompting him to secretly take the boy overseas for his upbringing. In his will, he bequeathed me 5% of his shares as a reward for bearing the child, a secret known only to him and myself. Meanwhile, my mother-in-law berated me daily for not producing offspring of my own. With the tangible benefit of the shares, I refrained from arguing, focusing instead on my hope for Oliver to thrive, untouched by family drama, and one day outshine Lucas. Unexpectedly, on the night the elder passed away, the biological father of Oliver confronted me at the funeral, pinning me against the coffin and hissing, Alice, did you think you could steal my seed? My leg shook with fear. Who told you? He continued, tossing a paternity test before me and claiming the elder had confided in him before his demise. Do you dare deny it? He challenged. I was on the verge of tears. Elder, this is your fault, I thought as I struggled to keep my composure. The man then grabbed my chin forcefully, compelling me to meet his gaze. Tell me, why did you steal my seed? He demanded. Flustered and intimidated, I scrambled to concoct a plausible explanation. Under his menacing stare, I remembered the caution given by the elder before he died. Alexander is not like Lucas. It's best not to play smart with him if you value your life. Honesty is your best asset. After pausing for a moment, I decided to speak openly and with confidence, because Alexander is the only one who can control Lucas. He believes in widowhood, not divorce. Since I can't divorce him, it would be better if he were dead. Besides, you are more attractive than he is. He has tormented me over his first love, so I am resolved to make him jealous. Clearly, I need someone more appealing. My heart raced as I nervously shared my true feelings with him. Moreover, your position as the next head of the Lucas family owes something to me. If Oliver wasn't your son, the elder might not have entrusted you with the family's real power. It might seem audacious of me, but it's a fact that can't be denied. The elder was quite fond of Oliver. Lucas has no idea what he's losing by punishing me for 5 years. Raised as a privileged heir, Lucas enjoyed many advantages and never anticipated that his grandfather would name Alexander as his successor just before passing away. He was overly confident, oblivious to the fact that there was actually a legacy to inherit. His determination to punish me for 5 years, driven by his devotion to his first love, disregarded his grandfather's desire to see a great-grandchild. Alexander narrowed his eyes at me, taking a long look. You're very forthright, aren't you? Aren't you scared that Lucas will kill you once he discovers your infidelity? His hand, cool and firm, landed on my neck. It wasn't tight, but it was threatening, as if my response could provoke him and he might strangle me at any moment. Just then, my phone started ringing in my pocket. I steeled my nerve and accepted the video call. On the screen, Oliver's charming face popped up, and he asked in his endearing yet assertive tone, Mom, who is he and why is he hurting you? Driven by a primal instinct for survival, I impulsively responded, be nice. Call him Dad. Oliver immediately shouted, Dad, stop hurting Mom. At this, Alexander loosened his hold, and his body stiffened. That very night, he arranged for Oliver to be brought back. The following day, he held Oliver's hand with pride at the funeral, where their striking resemblance surprised the entire family. Everyone was curious about the identity of Oliver's mother. At the same event, Lucas's old flame, Evelyn, was also present to pay her respects. She approached me quietly at the coffin to offer incense, then leaned in and whispered, What's it like being married to Lucas? I heard that in these 5 years, you haven't even had a child. I retorted with a scoff, I'm not a chicken, so obviously I can't lay eggs. But tell me, Evelyn, can you? Evelyn raised her hand to slap me, but I reacted quicker and slapped her face with a loud smack. Later, Lucas took me home, despite my reluctance. Many women had desired to marry him, yet I was the one he considered for marriage. Initially, I was under the naive impression that I had discovered true love. However, at the wedding, a confrontation with a woman made me realize that Lucas had an old flame named Evelyn. After I slapped her, I faced severe punishment. I had to kneel throughout the night and endured 5 years of neglect, becoming the subject of ridicule in our town. Yet this did not make me fearful of her or hesitant to confront her again. The incident at the funeral caught the attention of many attendees. Lucas walked over with a threatening demeanor, his eyes fixed on the 5 red marks I left on Evelyn's face. An icy aura emanated from him as he shot me a fierce look. I, Alice Neal, responded with a soft chuckle and clenched fists. Lucas still harbored a protective streak for Evelyn, but I was no longer the powerless Alice of the past. I taunted him, questioning if he intended to force me into another humiliating punishment or financial ruin. I had reached a point where I no longer cared, especially after my own family stood by during my public humiliation. What threat did their bankruptcy pose to me now? And as for the threats of no divorce, only widowhood, they hardly fazed me. Before his passing, my grandfather had bequeathed me 5% of the shares in Lucas Group. The prospect of becoming wealthy and powerful following my husband's demise was rather appealing. Lucas, caught off guard by my defiant words, managed a smile that failed to reach his eyes. A shiver ran down my back as I realized the 5-year deadline was nearing its end. I will soon pamper you and let you bear my child. Are you certain you want to challenge me at this time, Neil? I declared at that moment, an innocent, angry voice cut through, who's being mean to my mom? Lucas looked on, utterly astonished. What did you just say? Say it again, he demanded. Standing next to us with a smirk was Evelyn. Alice, are you using sweets to coax this little one into lying for you? Lucas, we are history, yet your current wife seems fixated on our past. She needs to sort this out herself. Evelyn, with her pride intact despite her bruised face, dismissed the concerns nonchalantly in front of everyone. Who doesn't have an ex? If every married woman treated her former lover as an enemy, ready to strike at any time, wouldn't that be madness? She continued, out of all your options, I'm surprised you chose such a petty, unsophisticated woman. Aren't you worried what the real mother would think, hearing her son call another woman a mom? The bystanders started whispering among themselves, how could Oliver, Alexander's child, possibly be Alice's unless she had an affair? Carrying a child for 10 months is no minor affair. How could Alice have concealed this from Lucas? Rumors swirled that although Lucas returned home every night, the couple's relationship remained platonic. They were inseparable, making it impossible for Alice to hide such a secret. These murmurs brought Lucas back to reality, reminding him that unless he was away on business, he was indeed home every night, holding me close until dawn. It was impossible to hide a 10-month pregnancy and then give birth to a hefty boy right under his watchful eye. Lucas soon regained his composure, mocking me, Alice, you're refining your tactics, teaching a child to spin such a ridiculous tale. You're nearly tarnishing my reputation. My woman might be flawed, but she's not foolish. Think carefully before you fabricate your next lie, or consult Alexander if he has the guts to cross paths with my woman. With arrogance, Lucas walked away, escorting the triumphant Evelyn to treat her face with ice amidst the sneering looks from the onlookers. I grabbed Oliver's hand and sought out Alexander. I approached him, feeling as prickly as a hedgehog. My frustration made me speak impulsively. Lucas sent a message through me, questioning if you dare interfere with his woman. I audaciously wrapped my arms around his neck, standing on my tiptoes. Kiss me now. Alexander's gaze immediately grew stormy, filled with swirling emotions, yet he cautioned sternly, Alice, don't play with fire. You can't handle the consequences of provoking me. His words doused my fiery temper like icy water, causing me to step down and pull away my hands. I couldn't help but comment, the Lucas men really don't understand romance. I knew of Alexander's reputation for being aloof towards women, a unique figure in the entertainment industry whom even the highest-ranked divas couldn't sway. How could he be so easily swayed just because I claimed his child? No wonder Lucas was so dismissive, he couldn't fathom me being Oliver's mother. Suddenly, a strong hand gripped my waist tightly, lifting me back onto my tiptoes. Alexander gently held my chin and smiled softly, yet his voice carried a stern warning, this is your final opportunity to leave. If I find you in Lucas's embrace once more, I will end your life within 3 days and disperse your remains. My entire body tingled with electricity. Imagining Lucas tenderly placing ice on Evelyn's face, I instinctively wrapped my arms around Alexander's neck. The thrill of betraying Lucas coursed through every cell. I shook my head firmly, no regrets. But if you must scatter his ashes, leave mine intact. Alexander's eyes darkened, and he let out a sudden smile. Tell Oliver to shut his eyes, he instructed Ed, standing next to us. Oliver raised his small hands to cover his eyes, and in his adorably innocent voice, he declared, Daddy, Mommy, Oliver can't see anything, and scampered away to play. The next moment, Alexander's lips claimed mine, his hand tightening at the back of my head. The kiss lingered until the sound of Lucas's footsteps approached. Oliver, playful as ever, ran up to Lucas and playfully kicked him, exclaiming, My dad said he dares. The familiar sound set off alarm bells in my mind, but Alexander whispered urgently in my ear, Stay focused. My heart raced, hearing Lucas's footsteps, yet Alexander remained fearless. You weren't scared when you were carrying his child. Why fear now? Don't worry. If we get caught, I'll just scatter his ashes. Didn't you once say you'd rather die than see him live? After all, becoming wealthy and powerful following your husband's demise is your ultimate desire, right? Using the sound of Lucas's footsteps as a cue, Alexander launched a passionate onslaught, breaking down all my defenses. I heard Evelyn scoffing, suggesting Oliver was fabricating stories about Alexander's interest in Alice, claiming he never even lets Lucas speak. Her words were abruptly interrupted by Lucas's sharp interjection. Yet my interest was piqued, glancing up at Alexander whose jawline was strikingly defined. I inquired whether Evelyn had ever attempted to charm him. Clasping my waist firmly, Alexander drew me closer and teased, You know exactly what you're doing. This is a tactical move, isn't it? You're using this to get back at Evelyn and Lucas. Now that you've captured the attention of the man Evelyn has always wanted but never got, are you thrilled by it? I responded with a playful flutter of my eyelashes, feigning ignorance. I had no idea you were the one Evelyn couldn't snare. Come on, keep talking. Stir up my excitement even more. Alexander rolled his eyes at me but seemed amused, not dampening my spirited inquiry. Indeed, there was a look of satisfaction in his eyes, a rare occurrence when it came to indulging my curiosities. If only I hadn't handed Lucas that love letter Evelyn wrote, their child might already be old enough to run errands. Oh, the drama escalates, I mused. Lucas, who disdains deceit above all, couldn't believe what I said. So I messaged Evelyn in front of him to meet at the hotel at 8 p.m. I never showed, but Lucas did. Whatever transpired left them estranged. From that day forth, Lucas can't stand betrayal. He'll never consider marrying Evelyn now. Considering what you've endured for 5 years, he ought to treat you well, I said. Any regrets? I snickered at the thought of being forced to kneel at the wedding, transforming me into the laughingstock of the town due to such blatant favoritism. Now I was even more eager to see Lucas and Evelyn's reactions when they caught us in an embrace. Just then, footsteps approached. It was Lucas and Evelyn, right on cue. Knock, knock, knock. Lucas rapped on the door of the guest room. Alexander, are you in there? We need to talk, he called out, not asking but informing as he pushed the door open and scanned the room. There, Alexander had me pressed against the wall, his lips meeting mine with gentle urgency. Rumor had it Alexander was uninterested in women, and his approach confirmed he lacked finesse, driven by a raw impulse to dominate and discipline me, the woman who had dared to take from him unbidden. As Lucas and Evelyn walked in, Alexander intensified his hold, making me let out a soft gasp. Evelyn looked on, a smile of relief crossing her face. See, Lucas? I told you Alexander wouldn't be interested in Alice. There's no one here, she said. In reality, we were hidden from their view by a one-way mirror. Alexander and I could see them, but they remained oblivious to us. Despite this, Lucas's expression remained stern. His suspicion prompted him to dial Alexander's number. The cheerful ringtone, "Daddy, you're my daddy," echoed, voiced by Oliver. Astonishingly, Alexander had recently brought Oliver back and set his voice as his ringtone. With a sly chuckle, I pondered if this was specifically for Lucas. You're right, Alexander whispered in my ear, as if reading my thoughts, confirming my suspicion. I subtly raised my eyebrows and covertly flashed him a thumbs up. While Lucas's intense stare was glued to the mirror, unaware of our presence, his grim expression hinted at his discomfort. Alexander, who's with you in there? Come out now, he demanded, receiving no reply. Frustrated, he forcefully kicked the mirror. Come out now, he insisted, bending towards me. Alexander whispered, are you ready? My thirst for vengeance ignited. What is there to fear? For 5 long years, I've yearned for Lucas to discover my betrayal. He turned me into a mockery, and I'll make sure this joke haunts him for decades. Every time he thinks about it, he'll see it with rage. Perhaps my intense resolve struck a chord with him as Alexander let out a soft laugh. Lifting me up, he headed towards the glass partition. Simultaneously, Oliver burst in with a posy, including several reporters. This mischievous one is definitely my son, Alexander remarked, eyeing the troublemaker who had brought the media swarm. The reporters, armed with various cameras, started snapping photos non-stop as they caught sight of Lucas and Evelyn together. Lucas's face fell. Stop recording. Who let you in? He barked. Oliver, unfazed and speaking in his innocent tone, replied, it was me. These reporters are here to interview me. They're curious about who my mommy is, so dear uncles and aunties, feel free to start the interview. I promise to tell all. Kids don't lie. Oliver hopped up onto a single-seater couch, his small hands gripping the armrests, confidently embodying a miniature executive. The reporters were eager not to let such a moment slip by, as the online community buzzed with curiosity about the identity of Alexander's son's mother. One reporter prodded Oliver, can you quickly tell us who your mother is? Oliver responded with a proud sniff, my mommy is amazing. She's the renowned Dr. L. Another journalist followed up, which Dr. L? Oliver explained, the Dr. L who is dedicated to the liberation of all women and has developed the artificial WBS. I am my mommy's proudest achievement, born in an artificial womb simulation pod. For all you big investors wanting to partner with my mommy, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and collaborate with her. His declaration left everyone in the room astounded. The reporters buzzed, is this child really born in an artificial womb simulation pod? Is this even possible? They mused that Dr. L was indeed a pioneer for women's empowerment. Good boy, someone remarked, realizing that he wasn't just causing a stir but was actively seeking investors for his mother. No wonder he has inherited my brains and Alexander's business savvy. This clever boy is using the media as free publicity. Seeing the impact of Oliver's words, Lucas's demeanor softened. So your mom is the enigmatic Dr. L. What's her contact number? I'm interested in a collaboration, he said. Oliver gave Lucas a knowing look and declared theatrically, "My mommy said she won't work with Lucas or dogs." Meanwhile, Alexander, carrying me, lowered his voice and inquired, "Are you truly the mysterious Dr. L?" I responded confidently, "Of course. How else could I secure a 5% shareholding just by having a child? My father is not easily fooled." As soon as I revealed my creation of an artificial womb simulation pod and introduced the impeccable specimen, he immediately recognized endless commercial possibilities and began treating me as a highly sought-after asset. Even my betrayal of Lucas seemed negligible to him. He intended to leverage my innovations to propel the Lucas family to new peaks of success and secure their prominence for another century. I had not anticipated that my entry into the Lucas family's inner circle would be through my invention. I am not naive enough to believe that a woman's worth lies only in her ability to bear children. Indeed, her intellect is her true asset. Alexander, seeing the value in my work, decided to keep our collaboration a secret from Lucas. He approached me with flattery and a kiss, urging me to work exclusively with him. "You're the mother of the child, of course, but you must inform Lucas about the deception," I insisted. I stayed away from home for a week because Oliver persistently expressed his wish for both his parents to sleep beside him. He wanted me on his left and Alexander on his right, contentedly sandwiched between us. Alexander indulged him, moved by Oliver's lamentations about never having his parents with him at night, portraying himself as the world's most forsaken child, devoid of maternal and paternal affection. Alexander, who had also experienced a lack of parental love after losing his parents early and being raised by his grandmother, felt a growing empathy for Oliver and desired to shower him with more affection. Consequently, following the funeral, both father and son pulled me into bed, and I found myself spending every night with them. Lucas, under the impression that I was still upset about the punishment he had imposed on me and needed time alone, was unaware of these developments, especially as the 5-year deadline approached. Despite not yet having returned home, Lucas, wearing an expression of icy determination, instructed his assistant to determine Alice's location, demanding an update within 3 minutes. Just 2 minutes and 29 seconds later, the assistant, visibly astonished, informed President Lucas she's at Alexander's house. Lucas's reaction was immediate. His pupils narrowing, he demanded confirmation. "Repeat that. Where is she?" The assistant hesitantly confirmed, "It's true. Your wife is at Alexander's house." Overcome with disbelief, Lucas shattered a valuable teapot set on his desk, exclaiming, "Impossible." Refusing to accept the news, he pulled out his phone to message me, reminding me that today marked our 5th wedding anniversary and to wait for him at home after my shower for our long-awaited wedding night. I saw the message but chose not to respond, feeling that today had brought misfortune. Alexander noticed my distress and asked who had made me so unhappy. I showed him the message from Lucas, expressing my frustration and the audacity of his expectations. "Today wasn't a day of celebration for me but rather the most humiliating day of my life," I said. Just then, Oliver, full of joy, jumped into my arms. His small hands encircled my neck as he planted a reassuring kiss on my cheek. "Mommy, my kisses are magical. They can chase away all the bad luck," he declared, his innocence a stark contrast to my turmoil. Oliver's antics had me in stitches, lifting my spirits considerably. Since I hadn't responded, Lucas bombarded me with a series of messages. "Are you done with your tantrum? Why so furious? Remember, didn't you refuse to kneel that day too? You even swore at me fiercely, but did I resent you for it? Evelyn and I are history. If it weren't for your constant petty jealousy about Evelyn, would I be upset with you? Be good. Our 5-year agreement ends tonight, and I plan to pamper you thoroughly." Alexander grabbed my phone, chuckled at the messages, and mockingly called him a madman. He then asked me, "Do you want to turn this ill-fated day into the happiest day of your life?" As I bit into the orange Oliver handed me, I nodded affirmatively. "What do you want to do?" Alexander just smiled, took my phone, and texted Lucas back, "She can't respond. She's full." Moments later, my phone rang again. Alexander passed it to Oliver, instructing him to answer and to drive the caller wild. Oliver rolled up his sleeves, hit the answer and speaker buttons, and Lucas's irate voice boomed out, "Alice, have I overindulged you, letting you dare to pretend to be a man and send me such messages through WeChat? You've always wanted a child, and now that the 5-year term has ended, I'm allowing you to have my child. Immediately go home, take a shower, and wait for me." Oliver waited for Lucas to finish before cheekily inquiring, "Who are you?" "My dad says mommy only needs one child." I felt absolutely fantastic, incredibly elated. No wonder he's my biological son. Oliver knows just how to cheer me up. It's just too bad I couldn't witness Lucas's face when he realized the massive betrayal I had orchestrated. I spent a long time pondering what his expression might be. While I was at Alexander's villa, my thoughts were interrupted when Lucas, accompanied by a convoy of cars and a team of bodyguards, stormed the villa. It was well fortified with security so tight not even a fly could penetrate. On the surveillance monitor, Lucas's face appeared, illuminated in a green hue, even more striking than I had envisioned. Yet it did little to ease my discomfort. In a bold move, sitting right beside Alexander, I accessed the official website of the Lucas Group on my computer and changed its background to a bright, vivid green. Alexander, exasperated, pressed his forehead and inquired, "Does that satisfy you, future president's wife?" I chuckled, "It's adequate, but who says I'm marrying you?" In response, Alexander swiftly pinned me to the sofa and kissed me with overwhelming force. "You've riled me up. Do you really think you can still be Lucas's wife?" "Alice, don't be so sure," he declared. The intensity of his kiss sent my heart racing. I caught my breath and responded firmly, "I've learned my lesson, Alexander. I'm not interested in marriage again. I don't want to gamble anymore. You don't love me. Our relationship is based solely on the fact that I secured your seed. Now, with money, a son, and a career that could make me famous, my life is complete. Why should I gamble on a marriage with an uncertain future with a man I've been strategizing over from the start?" Seeing the resolve in my eyes, Alexander's anger flared, yet his voice softened with affection. "Marry first, love later. Give me a chance and give yourself one too, Alice. Remember, you were the one who provoked me first." I shut my eyes, unwilling to meet Alexander's gaze, feeling he'd sooner deem me worthless than acknowledge me as his wife. "I'd rather be your partner," I declared. To which Alexander rebuked, "I don't view you as worthless, but rather as a snail suppressing a storm of anger that you cannot unleash on me." Rising, he went in search of whoever had metaphorically transformed me into this snail. Outside the villa, two of Lucas Group's brightest talents were locked in a fierce altercation, exchanging blows fiercely at the entryway. Oliver, anxious to intervene, exclaimed, "Mommy, Daddy is going to get hurt by that bad man." Observing closely, I reassured him, "Your dad's handling himself well." Still, I took Oliver by the hand and approached the fray, shouting, "Stop. Enough fighting, Lucas. Yes, I did betray you. Oliver is Alexander's and my son." I confessed, shocking everyone who assumed the child had to be yours. Who eagerly awaited the end of your 5-year term. I've longed for this day. Each degrading night, wishing to see you betrayed. Lucas, unable to retaliate under Alexander's vigilant gaze, could only retreat, wounded and humiliated, to his lonely, cold bed. Unbelievably, Lucas bombarded me with messages from 9 p.m. to 3 a.m., his texts becoming more frequent as I remained unresponsive. Finally, he wrote, "I'll overlook the fact that Oliver is Alexander's. I believe you're still pure. Let's start anew, but on one condition, no one knows Oliver's mother as you. I promise from now on, I'll treat you well, even supporting you against Evelyn, whom I once loved deeply. Whenever I witness her being harassed, I feel compelled to defend her. Evelyn and I are a thing of the past. Otherwise, I wouldn't have chosen to marry you. You must realize that since our marriage, I have remained faithful. You are the one and only woman in my life. Each night I fall asleep holding you, and you know this to be true. Alice, it's not just about how aggressive a man appears, but also about who he chooses to marry. You are the only woman I have ever considered for marriage. Isn't that proof enough? Respond to me. I know you're not asleep. I've made significant compromises already. What more do you expect from me today? Alexander nearly killed me. I'm in so much pain. Doesn't that evoke some sympathy from you? At this moment, I'm pitying you as I tend to Alexander's injuries. I think he did it intentionally, stripping to show the marks from Lucas's assault. The dark bruises against his sculpted abs were a hard and alluring contrast. The allure of his battle scars was nearly irresistible. Oliver was right next to me, handling my phone and snapping photos as I treated Alexander. His tiny fingers sent them off to Lucas. Then he hit the voice message button, his adorable voice enough to drive anyone wild, saying, "My mommy can't reply to you right now." I bet Lucas is seething. Alexander, pleased, patted Oliver on the head, praising him as a good son. Oliver hit the voice message button again, saying, "Uncle, are you finding it hard to fall asleep? I can keep you company. I love talking. And from now on, Mommy will be spoiling me. I'm younger and cuter than you. What do you have that makes you think you can compete with me? I'm off to bed now. Good night. I'm thrilled that both Mommy and Daddy are sleeping with me tonight. Oh, and Mommy told me to pass on a message. If you want her back, you need to kneel at the entrance of the hotel where you got married for a full 24 hours. And don't forget to bring durian. It's tough chasing after a wife, but this is the best I can do to help you. The next day, a video showing Lucas and Alexander brawling at the entrance of the villa became the top trend. Without any explanations, the internet erupted in speculation, with many suggesting that Lucas couldn't accept that Alexander was named the next head of the Lucas group before the old man's death. In a hidden identity online, I stirred the pot by commenting that Lucas was cheated on, which led to a frenzy in a high-profile WeChat group with over 99 messages and screenshots being exchanged. People doubted Lucas's meek wife would dare cheat on him, given she was forced to kneel at their wedding and didn't resist. How could she possibly deceive Lucas? I wagered 100 cucumbers that the rumor was false. Who's the other man? Surely not Alexander, right? Do you all really think Alexander would go for Alice? That's like a toad lusting after a swan. Meet exclusive scoop. My relative's bodyguard is friends with one from Lucas's household, and he revealed that just yesterday, Lucas led them to Alexander's residence to catch him in the act of cheating. And it was then that Alice confessed to placing a metaphorical green hat on Lucas by revealing that Alexander's son is actually her own child. Is the world going insane, or is it just me? Isn't Oliver supposed to be Dr. Alexander's child? She exclaimed in disbelief. Meanwhile, the Lucas group organized a press event to declare their future collaboration with Dr. L, which involves substantial investments in the development of artificial womb simulation chambers. Oliver has been chosen as the sole spokesperson for these chambers worldwide. During the press conference, the Lucas group shared detailed stages of Oliver's development within the artificial womb, from the embryonic stage through the fetal stage and up to the birth process. They highlighted how, from around 8 weeks when the main organs start forming, there was continuous growth and development until the baby's physical features, including skin and hair, began appearing. By the 36th week, the simulation chamber mimicked natural contractions to facilitate a simulated birth. With a miraculous sound akin to a heavenly chorus, Oliver was born, heralded by thunderous applause that resonated through the conference, captivating the live global audience. Dr. L received immense accolades, described by many as a beacon for women's achievements in science. Curiosity mounted about the enigmatic Dr. L until I stepped forward, representing our team, and revealed, yes, I am Oliver's mother, Dr. L, and I want the world to know about the deceit that Lucas endured. The revelation caused a stir on Twitter, dominating the top trending topics. Contrary to my expectations, instead of facing criticism, the disclosure of my affair sparked widespread discussion and intrigue. Instead of support, the internet was awash with comments that seemed self-satisfied. A video surfaced showing me being made to kneel at my wedding while delving into my marital past with Lucas. The women watching were incensed, furiously typing messages like, "This is so satisfying. From now on, Alice should stubbornly endure a 5-year term with Lucas. Are you kidding me? Lucas, you deserve to wear a cuckoo cap. Where did Alice go wrong? She merely sacrificed her reputation for the sake of women's liberation. No, it can't be that Lucas is this petty. That would be utterly disgraceful. Lucas, if you haven't been intimate with your wife for 5 years, doesn't that suggest you should hurry and get a divorce, letting someone else step in?" I blatantly liked every comment. I even hoped that Lucas would be so enraged he'd keel over, leaving me a widow. Suddenly, a pair of strong hands encircled my waist, and warm lips grazed my ear. I thought it was Alexander, but when I turned around, I realized it was Lucas, sending shivers down my spine as he spun me around. His eyes were red and swollen, and he grasped my face, attempting to break through my defenses. I kicked him hard, and as he doubled over in pain, I took the chance to break free. However, Lucas caught my wrist, stopping me from fleeing. "Alice, remember, I am still legally your husband," he said. "You accuse me of being cuckolded, causing chaos everywhere. Do you think you can maintain your fame and wealth then? Sue me, and I'd welcome it. For the past 5 years, all I've wanted is to be divorced from him, even if it meant being unfaithful." Lucas's demeanor softened as he held my hand firmly, almost in surrender. "Alice, I'm sorry. I've thought about everything. Last night, I realized that without you next to me at night, I can't find peace. Evelyn is just a distant memory now. From this moment, you are the only one in my heart. Please don't be angry with me anymore. I'm even willing to accept the disgrace you've caused me. Does that affect you? I know you still have feelings for me. You're just upset that I embarrassed you over Evelyn. Please move on, Lucas," I said, letting him be clear. "The Alice who once loved you was suffocated by your actions on our wedding night. Every night since, being held by you in sleep has repulsed me. Now you seek to reclaim my heart, driven by nothing but your ego. Particularly now that I shine on the grand stage, only now do you recognize my true worth. If I hadn't invented the artificial womb simulation chamber, if I weren't basking in this success and was just a silent victim of your oppression, would you even spare me a second glance? A man never regrets until he has truly lost a woman who loved him. He would deeply regret not being able to connect with a woman as radiant as you. Frankly speaking, your current situation is pitiful. In the future, I plan to move in with Alexander. If you continue to refuse the divorce and release me, prepare to wear the green hat for the rest of your life. Unknown to me, Alexander was observing us from the doorway, arms crossed and leaning against the frame. He flashed a slight smile and winked at me, saying, "You mentioned moving in with me." I took that seriously, and now there's no backing out. I replied, "I'm merely trying to persuade Lucas to grant me a divorce, of course." I couldn't retract my statement in front of Lucas, so I confidently walked over and took Alexander's arm, affirming, "I certainly won't back out, provided you're okay with me still being married. Daddy, let's head home." I lived with Alexander for more than 6 months, often seen in public holding Oliver's hand, and we frequently stirred the pot, casting Lucas in an envious light. Unable to bear the continuous mockery and insult, Lucas finally gritted his teeth and finalized our divorce. Then Alexander proposed. Though hesitant, his words tempted me. Just picture yourself on stage in a wedding dress, smiling brightly, while Lucas stands below, feeling defeated and unwilling, and Evelyn watches, consumed with jealousy. Isn't that a perfect revenge? Wouldn't you want to erase your past humiliations? I must admit I was swayed. Alexander added, "The wedding will mark the 6th anniversary of your marriage to Lucas, symbolizing picking up from where you left off, releasing the past, and mending your wounds." I was completely persuaded. So on that day, I wore the wedding dress once more and held the ceremony at the same hotel. The theme of our wedding was healing. As Alexander and I exchanged rings on stage, it truly felt like a new beginning. I noticed Evelyn seated underneath, her eyes tinged with jealousy. She likely didn't wish to be there, but Alexander had specifically invited her by sending a wedding invitation to her family, compelling her presence with a stern ultimatum: attend or face your family's financial ruin. The choice was clear. I was ecstatic, reveling in how Alexander managed to please me. Oliver hopped over to Lucas, exclaiming, "Uncle, thanks for the restless nights. Without them, I wouldn't be here." Lucas, consumed by anger and alcohol that night, grappled with the loss of his status as the family heir. The glory he once held had faded. Now everyone preferred Alexander. Even Lucas's outbursts failed to garner the usual sympathy. Instead, people urged him to show generosity, reminding him that he was the architect of his own downfall. "I warned you not to push the limits, but you didn't listen. Getting a taste of your own medicine is well deserved," they said. As for myself, I was captivated by how Alexander placed the ring on my trembling finger. He soothingly assured me, "Don't be scared. Marriage can either be a prison or a paradise, depending on how we handle it. Let's nurture our love post-marriage, ensuring it blossoms gradually. Alice, please trust me this time." After watching the story above, do you have any thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. If you enjoyed our video, please like, subscribe, and share our channel. That's all about today's story. See you next time.